Okay. Um, Welcome everyone. So glad that you all decided to spend this time with me, and I feel honored to be talking to all of you today. So I'll be sharing some things about me, my education, my professional journey, and some of the lessons that I learned while I reached where I am today. Right. So just I'll try my best to make it worth your time today. And if you have questions, feel free to share that on the chat, and we'll take that towards the end of the session. Okay. So before even I start with my education, right? Why did I even choose the career that I have today? So I remember the first time when I was introduced coding, it was in the 11th grade when we had this subject called IT. And the first program that I ever wrote was a triangular pattern, and I used C to write that code. I remember that that was one of the homeworks that were given to me, and but I decided to, like, instead of making a triangle, I decided to make it a diamond because I really like coding, and I thought, okay, let's spend some more time and enjoy. I really enjoyed coding, so I thought, why not? So that is the time I realized that is something that I really love doing. Although at that time I was not sure that that is the path that I'm going to take going forward. But when I look back, definitely that was the time, the first time that was introduced to me. That was the first time that coding was introduced to me, and maybe the start of my tech journey. Um, Coming to the education, so I did my engineering from College of Engineering Bhubaneswar, and I completed it in 2011. Then I decided to go for masters, and I did it from BNIT, completed in 2013. Then I got the position of a software developer in Oracle, and I worked there for close to 2 years, and then that is when I moved to Amazon, and I joined as a software development engineer. Um, so last year I okay, one second, yeah. So last year was special. I got promoted as a senior software development engineer, and it was also a special year for me in my personal life because I had a baby girl, and she's 1 year old now. Uh, then this year, when once I got back from my maternity, I decided to try the role of software development manager, which I always wanted to do. This is something that I felt that I can actually look at people and realize what their strengths are and use the strengths to you know work towards a goal. So that is something I always wanted to do, and when I came back, this is something that was the opportunity that was available in the organization. So I've started doing that, and it's been 4 months. Have been working as a software development manager, and a lot of learnings which I'm going to talk about throughout the session. So before I move on, right? So uh, when I look back and I look at the career that I have today and where I have reached, there is one thing that I realized is I was always curious about what is it that I really like, and like what would I want to do? Is it like what is it that I can do without, you know, even if no one is watching me, or it's not something that I have to do, but I really like doing. What exactly is that? And that is something that has always helped me, you know, look forward to what is it that I want to do next. Had it been the software, like the engineering individual contributor role or the manager role. So, to all of you, I think be curious about what you like and try to build a career on that, because that would actually make it a lot more easier. And second thing is that have patience. Most of the times when we look at people and we see where they are, we feel that okay. yeah, that's a big deal, right? Where like when we are encouraged by someone who is in a position, but we also have to realize that it takes a lot of patience and a lot of uh, challenges that you have to go through before you reach somewhere, and you need to have the patience to do that. Right. So these are the two things I would say if you're looking for a career in any domain, be it tech or any other domain, right? But be curious and have patience. Okay, what so that was about my work, but what do I do outside of work? So I spend a lot of time reading books. I'm a fitness and sports enthusiast. I spend time in that. I like traveling. My last travel was to Leh Ladakh before COVID. I have a 1 year old, so I love spending time with her. I spend a lot of time after work when I'm free. What is why am I sharing this, right? So when you are working, whether it be you might be completing your education or you might be working on a job, right? It's very important that you take break from that and do something which you really like enjoy doing just for fun. We stop having fun as we grow up, right? And like as a kids they have fun and they are just free, and how is that helpful to you? So it's helpful because it is good for your physical and mental well-being, so that will help you have better thoughts and more clear thoughts, and you will definitely the energy and the whatever energy you get from things that you do outside of work, right? You can spend that energy in your work, and uh, that will actually help you have a better performance, and you'll be able to work with your full potential. Moving on, so there are some learnings and there are some things that when I look back, I realize that have helped me during the difficult times where I had self doubt, or if I was not sure if I'm going in the right direction, or if I was confused about what is it that I should do next, right? So these are some of the learnings that I want to share with you, which will hopefully help you in whatever stage you are. Uh, so the first one is which helped me a lot when I look back is having mentors. uh, Mentors are the people who would guide you when you are confused, and they would help you when you can't see a clear path. And these are the people who would have more, sometimes more experience, sometimes they would actually wish well for you, right? So they can help you move forward. And mentors can be anyone. It could be your family, it could be your seniors. If you have a job, it could be your peers who have more experience than you, or even your friends, and sometimes your managers, right? So having them really helped me. Some of my mentors are like, even though we don't work together anymore, but if in a situation where I want to discuss it through, where I can't see clearly what should be the next step, I talk to them, and it is a great help. Second, which I feel is very important and helpful, is surround yourself with people who have similar goals. So in my case, when I was so after completing my masters, when I joined Oracle, I was preparing for interviews. I wanted to try a different domain, and I wanted to try outside, right? So I was solving different coding problems, data structure, algorithm problems. So I remember that I had a close group of friends and colleagues who had similar goals, right? So I used to discuss with them all the problems, and it was like really nice to talk to them and get to, if there is a problem, we would discuss different types of solutions of that problem and then arrive at the best one, right? So that's always helpful if you have people around you with similar goals, because then you have a good support system who would have, like, for example, there is something that they know better than you, right? Or they have better resources, they can always share it with you, and that's always helpful. Third one is don't hesitate to ask for help, and it could be your professional life or your personal life, right? The if you are in a job, then you should be asking your management when you need help. If you're going through something, or if you need more skills, you need to take trainings. It could be anything, right? But what I'm trying to say here is that asking for help won't make you weak. So whether it be your family or your professional circle, ask for the help, and it will definitely make uh, or any challenging situation a lot easier. Second one is, this is a quote from Howard, and I really like this one. I'll read it for you. Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, and go do it. Because what the world needs is a people who have come alive, right? And what that means is basically, if you go or choose a path where you actually enjoy it, really like it, that's going to contribute to the world in some way or the other. So doing that not only will help you, but it will also serve a bigger purpose where you will contribute in some way to the society as well, right? So no, tying it back to where I started, right? Know what you really like. uh, be curious about what makes you alive, right? What you really like doing. Third one is, this is my favorite one. So failures, right? How do we take failures? So these are the two quotes I'll read first, and then we'll discuss about it. So if we are brave enough, often enough, we will fall. This is from Brené Brown. And Jeff Bezos says that failures comes part and parcel with invention. It's not optional. So what it says is, you don't have to be first of all, don't have to be afraid of failures. If you're going to try new things, take more risk, you might fail, and that's fine. That's okay, right? It's about how do you take that failure. For example, in my case, and like, if you take risk, and if you're a person who really likes taking up challenges and trying new things, you would fail some of the times. And the way I take failure is, I first of all, don't be so hard on yourself. If you have failed, if our friend fails, we generally will be very empathetic, right? And we'll try to explain them that, okay, you can probably try it again, and just take it as a learning. So try to talk to yourself in a very similar way. I do that, and it's really helpful. The second one is that I do is, every failure has a learning. um, so try to understand and know what that learning is, because that would actually help you learn and grow from it, right? So and failures are going to be there always. It is about how do you take that, right? If you take it in a good spirit and learn from it, you will definitely grow. Third one is thinking big, right? So never think that there is. So before that, just this quote from Amazon: thinking big is central to the story of Amazon's evolution. We started off with one aspiration, to be Earth's biggest online bookstore. We accomplished that, and by thinking big, we were able to enter new and uncharted territories, and the launch industry changing business like AWS Eco and Amazon Business, right? So always be open to thinking big, and uh, don't hesitate, and don't think that that's too big and far fetched, right? Because unless you try, you will never know that is it something that you can do or cannot do. Is a secondary. That's about results. But trust in that process. Have a goal. It could be big at this point of time, but if you divide that goal into smaller steps, then it's something that you will eventually achieve, right? So, and that was in my case as well. When I started, like, in the beginning of my bachelor's, I really didn't know that how would I uh, mm, like, what would my career look like. But there was one thing that I was sure, that I really liked coding, and that is something that I want to do, right? My focus was always to get better at it, and that really helped me achieve one goal after the other. So I'll suggest the same. And um, with that, thank you everyone. And I'll take some questions if I have, but that was from my end. So I do see some questions. So first one is from Neha. Thank you, Neha, for asking this question. The question is, do you have any tips for restarting a tech career after a break? So, Neha, first of all, congratulations for thinking about restarting it. I think the only tip that I can give you is that brush up whatever you, because you have taken a break, right? And it is challenge. I took a break of 6 months after maternity, and after coming back, it is going to be little challenging, and that is fine. What I would suggest is brush up all the knowledge, all the skills that you already had, and take slower steps to come back to it, right? Instead of don't think that like, just don't be too hard on yourself. Take one step at a time. Have a goal where what exactly that you want to do, and that then have a plan for that and work towards it. Second one is from Arvind. Do SDMs need to be strong on algo and data structure system design? Uh, Thank you, Arvind, for asking this question. So, yes, SDMs do need all these competencies, right, as part of their job, as well as when they are taking the interviews, because these are all the basics of any problem, right? So SDMs also, and especially in Amazon, because it's a technical role, that we also need to look at the system design, and if we have to make sure that it's aligned with the long term direction, right? And same goes for the problem solving, like what algorithms and data structure, although it is not as essential as it is required for uh, the engineers, but I would say it is equally important. Third one is from Divya. What makes Amazon an unique place to build a career? I think uh, so this is I really like this question, by the way. Thank you for asking it. The way I see it, the way it is unique is the culture, the diversity that we bring in. Uh, we focus a lot on diversity, uh, and diversity is not just the gender, but any kind of diversity, region and place that you're coming from, right? It could be many other things. So it really we really try to build an environment where people are comfortable to express themselves, and they don't hesitate to bring what they have to offer in the table. So that makes us unique for software engineers, especially. The what I like about Amazon is the amount of power that you have, right, to bring a change. So we encourage employees to put forward their ideas, and and the it doesn't matter at what level you are, but if you have a good and strong idea, then people are there to support you, and you have a very, you can put forward that idea and you can work on it. So that brings a lot of power for an engineer in Amazon. That is something that I see different from other companies. Next question is from Savita. As a final year student, engineering student, how should we prepare for the professional journey? So Savita, when you're preparing for your professional journey, right? I think first thing would be to have like strong basics, algorithms, data structure, problem solving, and there are plenty of resources that are available in the internet, right? That you can actually refer. So get better and strong at the basics, because these are the things which are going to help you throughout the career. So have better, get better algorithms and data structure, and try to solve as many problems as you can, right? So I think that is what you can, and there are plenty of resources that are available, so you can refer that. The next question is from Piyusha. I'm a mechanical engineer, want to shift my career to IT. What skills should I focus on? So, Piyusha, you have to actually start with the basics of computer science, right? So we don't I don't think you need to focus too much on the language or what code that you choose. You can either choose any object-oriented programming like C or Java, but you need to actually learn what are the data structures, right? Which are basics of computer science and different types of algorithms, because these are the things that you would need when you build a career and when you actually want to solve the real world problems. Next question is from Khushbu. Does Amazon have tech internship opportunity? Yes, Khushbu, we do have internship opportunity. So we have 6 months internship and as well as 3 months internship. And generally, all these opportunities that you have, you can actually go to Amazon job portal, and these things are published there, so you can find out more. But yes, we do have the opportunities for internship. Question 7 is from Priya. How to build coding skills? So, Priya, the simple answer to that question is practice. Practice coding as like you practice maths, right? More you practice math, more you get better at it. So, coding is very similar. Try to solve questions, try to give more thoughts on problem solving and then coding them. So, and as I mentioned earlier, there are plenty of resources that are available. So, on internet, so you can use that, and these platforms actually provide online editors as well. So you can write code, compile them, run it, and practice more as much as you can. Okay, so that was the last question. With that, I'll be closing the session. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you had some takeaways from here, and hope that will help you to achieve your goals. Thank you so much.